everybody, and welcome back to Farlandiversary for day 20, I believe we're on. And I guess I should guess the world size. I think that'd be kind of a fun thing to do. I think it's around 33, 34.8. Well, a little bit bigger than I thought. Um, but yeah, we're back with still with the netherrack beds. That is still going from the marathon episode. Still can't believe I had so many blocks, apparently. I had so many. Plentiful amounts, actually. But I'm not here to talk about the blocks in my inventory from the marathon episode. I'm here to commentate about things and such. Journey to the Farland style. But yeah, I'm back after a few days. I took a few days off to do a bit of camping and stuff. And it was fun. It was nice to have a bit of time away. I always like to take a little bit of time here and there. And that was kind of coordinated. I kind of wanted to stagger the episodes, but I wasn't gone for as long as I could, like, as I'd need to. Like, I wouldn't be able to stagger the episodes very well. I guess you could do quote unquote pre-recording, but I don't really record, so it doesn't really work. So yeah, I just stagger episodes in the event of me having to, or me not being able to do episodes. But yes, I am back after a few days, and I don't remember my last commentary, so I might broken record a little bit today for those who might have seen the last commentary. But I have been kind of getting back into the swing of things. And actually, when I was gone, I thought a little bit about Newcraft, and I still don't think I'm quite ready to return to it yet. I want to come back to it full of ideas and full of excitement, and I'm not feeling it. Devin and I had a conversation the other night, not one of those conversations like when something's about to end, but we just talked about, or Devin kind of talked about what he was up to on the server, and that kind of got me into the spirits of the server a bit. But I'm still kind of disconnected for now. I think ever since, Outpost 5 in Journey, Newcraft has kind of taken the back seat, and I guess it'll be a matter of time before Newcraft comes back. I'm assuming soon enough, but yeah, it's about the 2-month mark for Newcraft, which is pretty wild. Time flies. It really does. I guess that's pretty darn evident with my world here, but I don't know. I don't really realize it. Oh, the Herobrine cross there. But you don't really realize it until the time's gone by and you're like, holy. You kind of just going along with things and you look at the watch kind of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back to Newcraft when I'm feeling excited enough and invigorated enough to bring that back into the channel and everything. But I think for the time being, I'm just going to let it be the back burner and let Devin and Connor do their thing on the server for the time being. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens from there. But, yeah, what else? What do I want to talk about? I've got plenty of things. I've got my new series, which I guess is not so new anymore. Better Than Adventure. My probably best performing series. Not to toot my own horn. No, but I mean, it did do astoundingly well for just a one-off thing that I did. I was just kind of like, oh, I booted up Better Than Adventure like a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, would this be a good series? Because I was just like, some of my reactions and stuff to things, I was like, oh, this would be great. And then I just on a whim recorded a 30-minute episode in a new world, and the rest is history from there. Now I do have to do a few more episodes. I think I will do a bulk recording session for the next one, or bulk streaming, or whatever I call it. God, that confusion is still existing, still pertinent so many years later. But yeah, I'll probably do like a few hours of playing or something, maybe tomorrow or in one of the coming days, depending on how I feel. Probably not today. I gotta do Journey. I'm hoping to do around 30k, and then I gotta do an episode of Silver Age. That's what I'm going to do after this. So if you are watching live, then there's plenty of entertainment to come. But yeah, I don't know when that episode will be edited and released. It might be more so next week. Or I could be able to I might be able to get it out this week. Kind of depends. And I guess topic switch, since I kind of have talked about that, I think enough. Um, I did switch out the setting on beta tweaks. So if you noticed for a while there, I was doing the click and drag, where you could like, click and it would drag the blocks. But you know what, in the spirit of keeping things nostalgic and in their old fashion, I disabled that setting. I don't even remember how long I've had that enabled, but yeah, I've decided to disable it for the time being. So, well, not for the time being, probably for the rest of the world, I'd imagine. Just in the spirit of things. I mean, I'm not going the complete spirit of things and re-enabling the jitters, because I tried that for a while and it wasn't very nice. The jitters are not something that I want to bring back willingly anyway. And I think even that time it wasn't a willing like bringing them back. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, I don't know where this mod is. I couldn't find the mod, and yeah, I soon found out the Discord had a search feature in chats, and I actually found it through that. I think it's just like the Control F, or even I think it's even just built into the user interface for Discord, where you can actually just go through like the history and find a word, a tagline, or whatever in the message. And I don't think I've exactly brought this up in an episode before, but if you notice, I do actually try to hop out of the boat before it hits the shore, and that's because of the infamous bug that's been killing me recently. I think it's claimed me at least 3 or 4 times now, and I think hopping out of the boat before it hits the shore seems to help. It's only every once in a while, like I hit the shore like dozens of times, and then this odd time I hit it, and then I just take a whole bunch of damage and die. One time I actually did survive. I think that was the one where I kind of beat the boat. But yeah, I don't really know the origins. As far as I know, I guess my best guess is a mod I tried to implement in, and it could just be remnants of that mod after I deleted it. It was a mod that basically was to make boats drop themselves. That was kind of when I was trying to make it more my own, kind of how I'd want a beta to be. You know, the click drag and the boats not breaking into planks and sticks. But I think that's the stuff I've kind of grown to like, or just maybe not like, but some of the charms of beta, I think. Even if it's kind of annoying or may seem annoying, and it is, but I think it's just a bit charming. It's from a time where Minecraft didn't have as it wasn't as polished, that kind of thing. And I admire Minecraft for being not so polished. I mean, I guess you could argue that even now Minecraft is a little bit, but I'd say it's a lot more optimized. Though some people would disagree with that. I think it is a fair bit nicer than old Minecraft. I mean, old Minecraft is kind of its own game. It can be played, like, it doesn't really need to be optimized all that much. Unlike modern with like Optifine or Sodium or whatever you'd use. But yeah, regardless, I'm trying to keep this to the unmodded standard. That's just how I want to do it. I shifted gears from the whole wanting to make everything how I wanted it to be. And then what I wanted it to be eventually became not modding it to high hell and optimizing everything, and instead just working with things the way they are, because modding this has only given me more problems. Like, I remember this was probably before the YouTube series, or this Twitch/YouTube series of Journey to the Farlands. It was a long time ago. I don't know if I ever really talked about it, but I tried to implement Optifine pretty early on in the journey, and I remember I had to resort to a backup, which I lost like 40,000 blocks or something, or 25,000. I don't remember how many blocks. It wasn't that bad. It was only a few days of progress lost, which at the time wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was, stuff like that has happened. It's a good idea to make backups of things. That's kind of why I do it now. I'm probably not as religious with making backups as I should be, although I do try to remember to do it, which I didn't remember to do it today, but like last week I made a few backups and stuff. Like I've been doing it, and the server, oh goodness, I'll have to do a backup of Newcraft. I just remembered that as well, in case things go sideways, which they do. They do go sideways. I know a lot of people tend to not really, it's like if worst comes to worst, but computers are known for being just extraordinarily like tough to predict sometimes. Like they can just blue screen one day, like mine did back a few years ago. It was well before the streaming, but my old computer blue screened. I think it was because of some kind of storage issue. I don't really know what it was, but it blue screened. I had to get it repaired and stuff. Not fun, not fun. But I did get my data back, or all the data on it. And I do still have all of my old Minecraft worlds kicking around on this computer, I think on a thumbstick as well, unaltered. So I can always check out my old Minecraft worlds. It's just something I think I kind of miss. 'Cause a lot of my Pocket Edition and Console Edition worlds are gone. Because I played Xbox. Well, I guess some of those worlds still exist, but the ones I remember were on another Xbox that I actually sold. And that one had probably a bunch more nostalgic worlds and things that I could check out, but I might have a thumbstick with those worlds on it as well. But what I mean is like my original worlds are gone, like the Pocket Edition. Those are kind of the first ones I remember playing, and those are well gone. I still have some of them from I think 2015 or 2016 onward, but it's nice to be able to look back on that kind of stuff, and it's hard to expect that you'd be able to go back to it. For a lot of people, like the common folk, I know there's some people who are really religious about backing up everything, and you could like check out stuff you did 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but I'm not quite as good. I think I do have a whole old hard drive kicking around. I guess I kind of am similar to what I just said, but I'm not really a religious backup guy. Like I don't back up everything all the time, which is why when I lose stuff, it's annoying. But nothing's really happened that's been catastrophic, unlike the hard drive wiping, which was only one hard drive that was minor. I mean, it did have Journey to the Farlands on it, the original world, but I don't know. I don't seem to be very perturbed by it since I have this world here, which I basically just treat as the same world. Because it is. It's, in my mind, they just are stitched together. Like, there's no real delineation. Apart from when I saw Spawn and it didn't have my spawn base, and I was just like, man, this world doesn't have the spawn base. But apart from that, it's really a minor footnote because that was before the halfway point anyway. Though it would be nice to have things kind of cohesive, but that is water downstream, as it were. But yeah, no, it is nice though being able to have old worlds. I do have some of my original worlds. Some of them got corrupted, unfortunately. I was never really that big into survival Minecraft, so most of my old survival worlds are pretty darn, they're not very exciting. I feel like if I was at this point, kind of back 10 or whatever years ago, I feel like it would be a little bit different. I feel like I'd be a lot better with the backups, and I think my worlds would be a little bit more impressive if I, put more time and thought into them. But back in those days, I wasn't really too worried about it. That didn't really cross my mind at any point. But I have talked about the screenshots from the original world, which I do still have. I found a folder with all of them in it, actually, on a recovery. Now, this recovery scrambled, I think, just about everything and renamed stuff, and it was a pretty bad recovery. I probably should have just brought it in and got it repaired, and then I could have had the world back. But I was just like, you know, I couldn't really be bothered with all that trouble, that triviality. But luckily I did find the original screenshots, and I have been kind of filtering through them. I'm going to probably do a bit of that today. If I manage to make it to my goal of 30k, that'd be great, and then I'll see if I have time to go through the screenshots. Maybe even after Silver Age tonight as well, I might do that. Because I do want to do an episode going through those screenshots so you guys can see the world. I think I remember going through the screenshots maybe once before in the series, but I kind of like blitzed through them, and it'd be kind of cool to go through everything, even if my screenshots are kind of split into two folders now. I have one of the screenshots that I can't really date precisely. I kind of have dated them based on their placement because they are sorted, luckily, by when I took them. So I've just been like, there's a folder with like no timestamps, right? No exact timestamps, I mean. And they're just like the general day. So I can go through those separately. Yeah. And then I got the main folder with like this one here. And this one's got all of the exact photos. So they got like a time. Usually if I took multiple screenshots, which I did for just about every landmass I came across, I would take an F3 screenshot as well. And sometimes you actually would be able to see the kind of the delayed, like the thing that appears in the chat with the time and everything. So I just was using that. So yeah, I do definitely look forward to going through those pictures very soon. Hopefully within Farlandiversary. And I also got to redo the thumbnails, especially with the new images I have access to now. I can actually do the thumbnails for each day or for each episode, which would be cool. More properly than the ones I already have. Although I guess I didn't really take screenshots every episode back then either, though. So I might not have a screenshot for every episode. I kind of just did the auto-generated ones and got rid of the hotbar. Just so it would work a bit better. It would look a bit nicer. But yeah, anywho, I'm kind of just prattling on about thumbnails and stuff and pictures. I had something I wanted to talk about. It's kind of slipping my mind a bit. It is. There's something I like went into the episode being like, yeah, that's something I want to talk about, and then just boop, it's gone. It's out of here. Oh well, I'll speak it when it comes back to me, if it does. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about was the Spawn Chunks episode, or the mini-sode. I guess there was the marathon where I actually did run into them, but I made a mini-sode after that, which gained a bit of popularity and some comments and stuff. And someone brought up the idea that you could you'd use it for means of duplication. I kind of was like, well, I feel like it's more like a two places at once kind of thing. But I guess if you had someone that spawned and someone there, I don't really know how that would work. That's like some very like advanced stuff. That's like some super like some stuff that you probably wouldn't really have happen in a natural world. But yeah, the white rabbit. Yeah, can it also duplicate the items in a chest, like duplicate a chest full of diamonds, or would that even be worth traveling the distance for something like that? And I don't really know the answer to that, actually. I don't even know how you'd go about proving it. That you could duplicate stuff doing that. I think there are easier duplication glitches anyway in beta. I've seen a few. But it's cool to kind of entertain the stuff like that, food for thought, because it's the stuff that no one really talks about. No, of course, because this stuff's not really well known. Like, even in the beta Minecraft community, there isn't really much discussion going around. There's only really like a few people, if anyone, who've discussed some glitches like the recurring spawn chunks glitch, or the Farlands. Well, the Farlands are probably the most popular of the bugs that beta has. But there's definitely a lot that the common folk don't really know. Even myself, there's a lot I can't really grasp right away. Like even watching a bunch of dissection, kind of like dissecting the Farlands, a lot of those videos. There's still a lot of mystery. That's kind of, I think, what makes it so cool, is that it's something that happened in Minecraft World Generation that's just so crazy. Like the math, I don't think is all that crazy. It makes sense, but seeing kind of the breaking of the terrain in such a way just puts it into a whole different kind of perspective. And one thing I realized in like beta terrain or even alpha terrain is the amount, like the presence of like terrain like this. Is like boating by and seeing like a hill, like just like a straight kind of beach, like a kind of a water line or a shore. That's what I'm referring to, a shore. And I call it like the pack.png terrain because there's like a lot of that going on in beta, if you notice. Like I feel like it's every episode that I run into terrain like that. That's just the way it is, I guess. I think I find pack.png charming, so beta terrain is, I think, something just amazing about it, that the modern terrain, while being so crazy and epic, can't quite replicate. And I don't really see it through the nostalgia, like the rose-tinted glasses that most people do, but I really do see it for what it is. And while the game itself has its limitations and setbacks in this version, there's just something about it that's just, it's liminal. I mean, alpha's liminal, beta's a little bit less liminal, but it feels kind of, it gives off that kind of liminality, the old stuff, before the structures and before the craziness of modern Minecraft. Oh, is that a zombie? Where are you? Come here. This is kind of neat too. Oh, look at this little piece of terrain here. I don't know what it is with me seeing these weird floating blocks of grass. If you look, I just saw it there. There's just, for some reason, yeah, it's just right there. I mean, there's Skyblock Island over there, but I don't know why that's a thing. What causes that bug? I'd love to know. Like the floating terrain like that. And I don't know if it's some kind of oversight. It could be. I suppose it could be some kind of oversight. But it's that kind of like that kind of stuff that really gives beta its charm, I guess, with the world. Just the magnificence of it all. I know I talked about the whole Herobrine and the White Eyes stuff recently, but there was a new video that came out, a Retro Gaming Now uploaded another video, and I was like, yes. Because I've been really getting into Retro Gaming Now, a very cool YouTuber. I would suggest you folks watch if you really like that kind of the mystery of old Minecraft kind of thing. There's some fiction and non-fiction there. Some ARG and some not ARG, actually, some non-fiction. And the most recent episode on Herobrine and White Eyes is non-fiction. And there is a distinction to be made between Herobrine and White Eyes, and that video makes it very clear. It's not the first one I've seen about White Eyes, because that's kind of a new thing. Well, not really. It's an old thing, but it's only really been talked about recently and kind of surfaced recently. But it's all this stuff from like 2010 and 2011 that comes to light, with like the Herobrine stream being found and all this stuff, and it really just sets that kind of thing in. Just thought I'd mention it. I'm not going to go into another discussion about it. I talk about it. I think I've talked about it over the last few commentaries at one point or another. And I talk about Herobrine a lot just because Herobrine's probably the biggest one I remember going back 10 years ago, 10 plus years ago. And it's really a big source of my nostalgia for old Minecraft, at least for a long time. Because my Discord profile for a long time was the Herobrine screenshot. That was after the seed was found. I had actually gone into the world with the seed and recreated the screenshot, the infamous screenshot with the kind of the creepypasta back then. Now, I wasn't really around for the original creepypasta or the live stream or any of that, but I kind of was there for kind of the aftermath of it years later, and how it really it wasn't anything in game. I guess it was with the White Eyes with the pixel glitch, an old alpha, but there was never really after that. It wasn't really the game that gave Herobrine the reputation. I mean, I guess it kind of has that feel for it, but it was really the audience, us, that gave Herobrine that kind of second life, pretty much. Like, it just continued and continued, and even is going until now. But I mean, of course, it's not quite as I guess believable. People have data mined Minecraft and everything. I'm sure even back then it was data mined too, and they're like, no, it's not here, and Notch said, no, it's not here. But it was more just kind of the general thing, less so the actual facts behind it. I just remember being like spooked by it back then. And years later, I kind of joked about it, and even when I made my profile picture, the Herobrine seed, I was kind of just like, oh, funny and whatnot. But there's definitely a lot of truth when you get into the old stuff. Like I was checking out a mod. Now, I didn't even know Alpha Minecraft had that many mods, and I think it doesn't because it's a very difficult version of Minecraft to mod. I don't know exactly why, but at least that's what I've heard. Oh, look at that, the cut off trees right as the cave sound plays. This is what I mentioned before, where the trees get cut off at build height. And you also get the shadow lands. That's a throwback to an old episode. I doubt any of you would actually know what that means, but look at that. I become a shadow. But yeah, whoa, look at that drop. But I was checking out an alpha mod recently. I really had a bit of a scratch for alpha. I played alpha well before I started the channel. Or I guess I started the channel in 2016, but before I started uploading, I mean. I played alpha for like a little bit. I mistook it for beta. I didn't really know what the difference was between alpha and beta for the longest time. And then I played alpha. I was like, whoa, this is different to what I remember. And which was beta Minecraft. And no, alpha's crazy though. Like I said, it's a very liminal version, even comparing it to beta. And in this mod, which I think is called the Not So Secret Saturday update or whatever, it's that kind of thing where it's takes like the better than adventure route of forking Minecraft development, kind of, where like, the mod developer just continues the versions. I think it left off at like alpha 1.0.16 or whatever. It was like 1.0. or maybe even earlier than that, 1.0.11. But it kind of kept going, and it wasn't quite like how old Minecraft updates were, where they would add little things here and there. I felt like they were pretty sizable updates. But it's a different developer, mod developer and stuff, so it's not really that, it's not a deal breaker or anything. But it was a cool mod to check out before I left to take a few days off. And I remember talking with Devin, and just there was one thing that just spooked me, and oh my gosh. And it was the ambience that they added. Now, I think ambience was actually, like, those files that were used in the mod were actually supposed to be added to Minecraft at some point. That kind of takes some old features and revives them, like the gears, or what's another one that it revives? The clouds from InDev or InfDev. I don't remember which one, but there was like an old cloud texture that it reuses. So stuff like that. But one of them was the ambience, which was supposed to be added to Minecraft, never was for some reason.